And he's going to play against Vincent Spezzo, who is playing Affinity. Give me some robots, huh?
A throwback.
Now, this is a little funny here because remember Caleb won that Invitational in Las Vegas last year?
With the bots.
Yeah, he was playing the robots in Modern. So we're going to see if his Pyromancer Ascension deck can get by a deck that he knows very well there in Affinity.
So I like the inclusion of Thing in the Ice in this strategy because one of the bigger weaknesses of Pyromancer's Ascension in my mind is the deck just kills on turn 4 a lot more frequently than it kills on turn 3. There's a lot of aggressive decks in the format that can kill on the 3rd turn. Most of them are playing a lot on the battlefield. So if your Thing of the Ice allows you to pass through the 3rd turn of the game, you can win on the 4th turn with Pyromancer's Ascension pretty reliably, or just win the game with your flip Thing in the Ice.
Scherer is going to play a Sleight of Hand after searching up a basic island with his Flooded Strand. Took a Lightning Bolt. Flooded Strand went to the bottom of his deck from the Sleight of Hand, and we're underway here in round number 4. From Orlando, a Blink Moth Nexus is where Vincent will start. There's a Signal Pest. Here's an Ornithopter. That's a Mox Opal. And just going to pass the turn. Over to Caleb will go. Take a draw. He knows what he's up against now.
Yeah.
In case it wasn't clear. So how does Thing in the Ice line up against Affinity?
This is the type of matchup where I think Spezzo's deck is a little bit faster on average than Pyromancer's Ascension, but Thing in the Ice could be the pass through the turn that he needs.
Steam Vent's going to come down here for Caleb. He'll take 2, fall down to 18. There is the very important, fall down to 17. There's the very important Pyromancer's Ascension. And now we'll head back Spezzo's way. Glimmer Void in hand. It looks like also a copy of Ink Moth Nexus. The big question right now, as it normally is with Affinity, is does Vincent have a payoff card? It looks like he has Archmon Ravager, so the answer to that question, should be a yes.
No, this is the type of draw where you would much prefer Cranial Plating.
Yes. Now that you know what you're up against. There is Archmon Ravager. There will be a counter on there, of course. There is the die. Starts with 1.
Ravager's your primary payoff card in matchups that are defined by removal and interaction. Cranial Plating is your defining card in the matchups that are defined by speed, and this is very much a speed matchup.
Caleb's going to take 2. Gataxian Probe will show us Vincent's hand here in just a moment. Glimmer Void, Galvanic Blast. That's it.
So this is a pretty slow clock, and this is, Ravager's still a fine payoff card, but this is a Cranial Plating matchup.
Caleb falls down to 14 to do that. Remember, he has a Lightning Bolt in his hand. We know that.
Another interesting thing here about this build of Pyromancer's Ascension when you have Thing in the Ice, he's playing with Bolt and Helix. Most of these decks do play with Lightning Bolt. Sometimes you see Helix, sometimes not. It's a little incongruous with the, I'm going to draw a bunch of cards and try to combo out. But once you're able to beat down a little bit with a flip Thing in the Ice, the Bolts and Helixes can be part of that game plan too.
That just kind of adds up there.
Yeah.
We speak of Lightning Helix. He drew that off of the Faithless Looting. He also found a copy of Manamorphose, which, hey, helps you cast the Lightning Helix.
You float it through. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
We'll see what Caleb wants to discard here to the Faithless Looting. Looks like he's thinking Lightning Bolt, perhaps, along with the Steam Vents. Don't have a great look at it.
Yeah, the Lightning Bolt is not that great right now in the face of the Ravager, so that's an easy one to get away from.
Probe number 2. Counter number 1 on the Pyromancer's Ascension.
And if Caleb is alternate casting a Gataxian Probe here, it's because he believes there's some chance he can win the game this turn. Otherwise, he would just probably pay the 1 mana and go for it the following turn. Especially now that you know about the Galvanic Blast, it's not risk-free to be paying a bunch of Phyrexian mana if you think there's some chance you're going to pass the turn back to Spezzo.
Here's Sacred Foundry. Caleb really beating himself up here. Going to fall down to 10.
Well, now he's kind of forced to do something because Spezzo can Galvanic Blast and a turn untap and kill with a number of draws. So I don't think he can just play Pyromancer's Ascension and pass the turn at this point. Or at least maybe he does take that line, but it's a lot riskier than it needed to be.
Well, he's got, okay, so I see what's going on here. He has 2 copies of Manamorphose in hand. 2 copies of Manamorphose means that he gets to trigger the Pyromancer's Ascension.
Yes.
So that means that the Lightning Helix will be cast twice.
Well, he needs to make a. I think he would want to make a move now because he
you're
doesn't
right.
want Spezzo to move into combat, knock him down to lethal. Sure, make that line, and then if a Galvanic Blast happened to be the draw step, suddenly you're dead.
Yep. Vincent's sitting here very patiently. Well, I'm shooting you for 4. That's what my deck kind of does. You're the one who has to make all the decisions, Caleb. Caleb will play Manamorphose. He's going to add some colors of mana, of course, and draw a card. Polluted Delta. He will Manamorphose again. Second counter. Draw a card. Lands are not what the doctor ordered here. He's got a red-white floating now. Now he's going to play Lightning Helix. Curious to see what the targets will be. He's going to target Signal Pest and Arcbound Ravager.
So this is somewhat of a cagey play here from Scherer insofar as if he sacrifices both of these to fizzle, suddenly he doesn't have Metalcraft anymore.
Oh.
He's just down to the 2 artifacts, and the Galvanic Blast goes from 4 damage down to 2.
Hey, nice. That's pretty adorable. The bad part here for Caleb is that his hand stinks.
The thing is that this is still a route here for Spezzo. This gets him down to 8. The Ornithopter can knock him down. I guess he's covered from 1 Galvanic Blast off the top now.
Darksteel Citadel to draw. He'll play the Darksteel Citadel. I think it's regular damage.
Yeah.
I guess he can just fire both, sure. So get in here for 3 regular damage, 1 infect. So Caleb's going to go down to 5, and then 1 infect. So I think this is going to net Caleb. Well, we'll see how many draw steps. I mean, obviously he's going to get this one. Another Pyromancer's Ascension stinks. We'll see if he gets another one or not. There's a lot of cards that kill Caleb.
Yep. I mean, he gets a flashback to Phasel's Looting and
That's
then
a big
go.
deal. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of copies of this. So he's going to draw 2, Thing in the Ice, and Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt is huge.
It's a big one. Going to discard Ascension and Delta. And now the next Faithless Looting happens. So he'll draw a Serum Visions and didn't get a great look. A Thought Scour. Okay. I think you can let go of Thing in the Ice here, and probably the other Ascension.
Although the issue now is that Caleb, I do not believe, has a red fetch land. So he has to take 3 points of damage if he wants to get red mana to cast the Bolt. And the Bolt doesn't kill the Ornithopter.
Ooh, that is a problem. Huh. Flooded Strand. I think it might just be basic island then, right?
Yeah,
It just has to be.
He survives on the table.
Yep. A lot of cards that kill him, but you know, a lot of misses too.
Yeah. There's plenty of misses, but there are kills here.
I think we're going to see it's either going to be Serum Visions or Thought Scour. We'll see which one he wants to play. It's going to go with Serum Visions. This will happen twice, of course. So the first one, draw a card. Scry 2. He picked up Lightning Bolt with the initial draw. Looks like Thing in the Ice and a Lightning Bolt are going to stay on top. And now he'll draw for the second Serum Vision, Scry 2. So he wanted Thing in the Ice pretty bad. And now, Lightning Bolt and Faithless Looting are the cards that Caleb is looking at. And he's going to leave both on top. And now pass the turn back and hope he doesn't die. Spezzo will draw. It's a Blink Moth Nexus. I think that's going to work just fine.
Oh. Yeah, you can bump the other Nexus now.
He will activate. He will attack. And he will pump. And that is going to do it. So Vincent Spezzo is going to win game number 1 here over Caleb Scherer. Affinity, nothing flashy or splashy about it, but good enough to get the job done there. Does win game number 1 here over Pyromancer's Ascension.
And I that game was some lesson about why Pyromancer's Ascension is not a heavily represented deck. It has a lot of vulnerabilities of the combo decks and does not kill on turn 3 or turn 4 as reliably as a lot of other options.
He got to do his thing.
Yep.
You can't say he didn't get to do his thing.
And almost got over the hump.
Yep.
He was very close to getting over the top of that, but just not quite enough time and got killed by Xaxes there.
To the sideboards we go. We'll start with Caleb Scherer and his 3 Blood Moons, 3 Rest for the Weary. 3 Path to Exile, 2 Dispel, 2 Anger of the Gods, a Wear Tear, and a Swan Song. I gotta say this, he's got some good options here.
Yeah, Anger of the Gods, Wear Tear, and Path to Exile are all going to do very solid work here. I think Blood Moon is typically a little too slow for my taste against Affinity, but I know that some people like it, particularly when they're on the play.
Other side of things here for Vincent Spezzo, he's got a Dispatch. Haven't seen that one for a while. And that's Champion, a Relic Virginis, a Pithing Needle, 2 Torpor Orb, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Whip Flare, a Blood Moon of his own, along with a Gear Power Aether Grid and a Ray of Revelation, 2 Wear Tear, and then a Vandal Blast.
You can talk me into the Ray of Revelation pretty easily here. And otherwise, I'm probably just shuffling up the same 75. Not getting too fancy
Don't
here.
want to change too much?
I think people over sideboard with Affinity as a rule anyway, and it's not like Spezzo is saturated with good options for this matchup.
Well, those are the options there for each player. So they will sideboard, shuffle up, and get ready for game number 2. Caleb Scherer will be on the play. And Caleb Scherer, as we did mention at the top of the round, is a former Invitational champion. Won our Las Vegas Invitational to close out 2015. We saw him make a pretty healthy run our Players' Championship. And perhaps we'll see the same from Liam Lonergan, who is now a Elf Warrior, is the New Jersey Invitational champion. So congratulations to him. That token will be available pretty soon here. We had to go through the Max VD treatment, and here are the ways to go about getting Liam's.
Well, all through Season 3, anyone who participates in an Open or Classic during the SCG Tour will receive one of these tokens when they register for the event. If you can't make it out to one of our large events, any order placed from StarCityGames.com beginning September 23rd, $5 or more will be shipped with this token for free.
Congratulations to our New Jersey Invitational champion, Liam Lonergan. We will see him at the Players' Championship later this year, and perhaps we'll see Caleb Scherer there as well. As I did mention, Caleb, with his Invitational win last year, up against the wall, maybe the most dramatic story of the entire year, where he was 3-3 and then didn't lose again.
Yeah, that's the most incredible Invitational run that I can recall.
Just back against the wall, was close to an at-large bid, was not going to be able to get that at-large bid, so he had to actually flat win the Las Vegas Invitational. He was able to do it, was a 28-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri, with 2 Open top 8s, 2 Invitational top 8s, and that 1 win in Las Vegas last year. So he's number 8 right now on our SCG Tour Player of the Year leaderboard. Not in great shape for an at-large bid this year, but all it takes is one tournament, as we know,
Yes.
to really get back into things.
It's
So far, off to a good start.
Not like Liam Lonergan was anywhere to be seen on the leaderboard leading up to New Jersey. So
It's very true.
it's one event.
Caleb, we know him mostly for Legacy Storm. That's where he gets a lot of his work done in Legacy main events and Classics. I've seen some good work in Standard, and he's been trying to figure out the best Storm build for Legacy for some time. So that's why you see him playing Pyromancer Ascension here this weekend.
It's not my speed. In Legacy, you can talk me into that. I think Storm is among the most powerful decks in Legacy.
Yeah, me too.
Modern, it feels a little try-hardy to me.
Well, they've just dialed the deck back a lot.
Yeah.
They just axed a lot of the cards that made Storm so good, which is probably for the best, because I think that when Legacy Storm was kind of available, or excuse me, Modern Storm, when it was available, it was very, very good.
And we're talking about a format that doesn't have Force of Will or Daze to try to keep some of that stuff in check either.
Yeah.
So it's for the best that it's at the power level that it's at, but not a deck that I would pick up and play in a tournament, most likely.
Now, we got our Atlanta Invitational a little ways down the road here, and I think, for Max McVitie, it was very obvious what I think the token he had to select. You got to be the Clue token. I
easy.
think you got to be the Energy token.
Yeah, that's it. That is a fine choice. Because I know a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork getting their old Pokemon energy ready to go to track.
Yep.
So being an energy token seems like a wise thing to be doing.
I think there's a lot of availability for some awesome artwork with an Energy token as well. I'm thinking Electro from Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would be.
Yeah. Max Dillon.
Yeah, I don't want to have like the Jamie Foxx like super blue look.
Nah, you want
that was really bad.
Classic 1960s, I believe Amazing Spider-Man #9, Max Dillon look.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That is the one.
It's just some electricity kind of flowing through the body.
Sack, holding a sack with a $sign on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, that's – you nailed what I want.
Uh-huh.
I think that's pretty easy to do. So for our next Invitational champion in Atlanta later this year, I think Energy Token is a good place to go. Though, for those of you at home who do have some good ideas for good likeness on a token, fire them away. Are there any other sweet tokens? There's servo tokens.
I like the
Those
idea.
are pretty cool.
I like the idea of the Patrick Sullivan energy token, which is just me like asleep or reading a book
With a cup of coffee. Yeah. Just really energetic as
yeah,
usual.
very energetic.
Yeah. We are underway here in game number 2. Caleb Scherer again on the play here. Spezzo did take a mulligan down to 6. Found a hand he was happy enough with, so he'll keep it. Scherer with the Steam Vents here. He falls down to 17 very quickly off of the polluted Delta. And it will be a Serum Vision. So draw a card. Pyromancer's Ascension, timely. Scry 2, Manamorphose, and I believe Thing in the Ice. I think the problem. There we go. I don't think he has a second land.
Right. Thing in the Ice on the play, I have to imagine is good in this matchup, but land number 2 more important.
I would be shocked if it's not good. Boom, Darksteel Citadel. That is a Mem Knight. That is a Mox Opal. That's just a passing of the turn. I was really excited for a big turn.
Where's the big finish?
Yep. Classic Affinity. Probe. What has Vincent got there with the 6 cards? Yeah, I gotta see the hand. Oh, Wear Tear, hi. Oh, his hand's good. Etch Champion, Galvanic Blast, and Glimmer Void. That means the Ascension, not so much.
Yeah, this hand's a little on the slow side,
It is.
which is unfortunate. And I'm a little surprised to see Etch Champion in the deck at all. But having access to Wear Tear is really nice. And, you know, if Caleb's going to be missing land drops anyway, doesn't matter a whole lot.
Well, Caleb missed the Probe. He does have a Sleight of Hand, however. He also has a Lightning Bolt.
And I believe Lightning Bolt keeps Spezzo off of his play next turn, assuming he doesn't draw a land. An artifact, rather.
Well, Affinity's pretty good at doing that.
There are a lot of artifacts in the deck.
Yeah. There's Slight.
I like this play. I think Caleb needs to try to get a little greedy here.
Well, he did, and it's the whiff. Pass the turn back. Bzz. Caleb's down to 11. You like
Love
that
it.
play? Yeah. I figured he might approve.
Approve.
Yep. There's a Glimmer Void. Beatdowns, 10.
And the Glimmer Void here is so nice now that there's no way that he's going to be able to keep Spezzo off of Wear Tear mana.
Mm-hmm. The champ is here. Pass that turn back. This is a Sleight of Hand.
Good old Grey Ogre.
Sacred Foundry Flooded Strand.
I guess Onulet is the better comparison.
You tell me, man. You're the old one.
Let's get Onulet up on screen.
I don't even know how to spell that.
O-N-U-L-E-T. It's phonetic.
O-N-U-L-E-T?
You didn't play with Onulets back in the day?
I don't think so.
Precursor to Etch Champion.
Well, we'll take if it's in the system.
But
What is that?
3-mana 2/2 artifact creature with a power that may or may not matter.
When it goes to the graveyard,
Just like Etch Champion.
Yeah. Nice. This again calls into question of what is the artist request?
Show a table that has come to life and is now drinking out of a dog bowl.
Okay, got it.
Somewhere near a factory.
I was going to say you have the factory in the background. Yeah.
Somewhere near a factory.
There's a Vault Scourge. And we head back over to Caleb. He'll draw a card. Lightning Helix. Seen worse draws.
Some breathing space. It's hard for him to get the ball rolling, though, until he starts making his land drops. But with Spezzo's clock as slow as it is, the Helix is basically a turn off, you know?
Oh, cranial plating.
All right, never mind.
Yep.
This is a spot where Etch Champion is better than Onulet. Is where you combine it with.
This is
you
one of
combine
them.
it with cranial plating.
Yeah, one of many.
This I like.
One of many spots where it's better. Cranial plating is in place on the stack. I have a feeling it's going to resolve, and it will. On to the champ. Here come the beatdowns. Lightning Helix will allow Caleb to take care of the Vault Scourge. But he's in some serious trouble right now. Unless he finds his Wear Tear. Untap. Shares at 3. He'll draw. That is a Sleight of Hand.
And now at this point, I think it's possible Scherer needs to just try to cantrip into the nuts. He can no longer Helix to try to get another turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's coming to the same conclusion.
There's a Slight. Look at a couple. Manamorphose. Scalding Tarn. Oddly enough, you would think that as champion, not particularly good in this matchup, but with how much spot removal Caleb actually has after sideboard, champion actually makes some sense.
Oh, it's been great here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be consistently the case, and it's really cranial plating that's putting this over the top, not the etched champion.
Sure.
But it has been very nice against Caleb's hand, for sure. Thing in the Ice can't block. The helixes and the bolts can't kill it.
Caleb has those paths after sideboard, too.
Right. I don't know if it's consistently going to be the case, but certainly this game it's been excellent.
Hiya. And that is going to do it. Vincent Spezzo is going to win this match here over Caleb Scherer, 2-0. Affinity going to take care of Pyromancer Ascension. And, you know, I'm not sure if that's a good or bad matchup for Caleb. You take a look at Caleb's deck list. He's got these bolts. He's got these bolts. He's got these helixes. He's got paths after sideboard, a little bit of artifact removal. Thing in the Ice, too. But Affinity can just kind of be relentless. And sometimes Pyromancer Ascension's draws just don't come together.
Right.